Hey folks, it's the Biston Flyer here, hope you're well. Huge treat for me today because I'm out and about on a bike that I've been curious to ride for ages. As a fan of old British motorcycles, I really want to ride one of these Royal Enfields for yonks. Now, when I say old British motorcycles, of course, Royal Enfield is a old British manufacturer, but these days they're made in India, and this, in fact, what I'm riding is a brand new 500cc Royal Enfield Classic. But it's very much old school. There's nothing modern about it in the sort of sense of I normally talk on these reviews. This is just a basic thumping great single cylinder 500cc motorcycle. So if you stick around and stay tuned for the next couple of minutes, I'll tell you what I think of her. So the first thing that strikes you when you get on this bike, unlike other reviews that I've done, is not necessarily the seating position, but just the noise of this. This particular bike has a straight through pipe fitted, so it really is a thumper. It sounds fantastic. And of course, going with that, there is no rubber mountings of the engine or anything like that, so you feel every single vibration on the bike. And in this case, that means character. Now, if only I could get it in gear, we'd be laughing. There we go. We're in first. Okay, you have to be quite firm with the gear shift to get her into gear, but once you select the next gear, it gives you a real shove in the back. The torque on this thing, quite amazing. I mean, not stupid numbers like I'm used to on big modern bikes, but just the fact that the tune is very low down, it does give you a real kick in the back when you change gear. So I'm going to go for third now. We're off. Lovely. So yeah, when people talk about character on bikes, what they often mean is they vibrate to hell, or they're horrible. And I had, rightly or wrongly, very low expectations before I jumped on this machine, because everybody had told me, oh, you're going to think that thing is an absolute nightmare. So I wasn't expecting much, but that is wrong really, because the bike is just a lovely thing to ride. Of a summer's afternoon, thudding around the lanes, this would be brilliant fun. Now, it would not be a bike that I want to do a long tour on, or indeed go on a motorway on, but just for knocking around the lanes and just having fun. What a great thing to do. Okay, let's just pop down here, and I'm hoping I can find somewhere to give you a look around the bike. So this is the pre-Euro 4 machine, so no ABS or anything like that. Royal Enfield are getting to grips with the Euro 4 though, and those bikes will be coming soon, so then you're going to be looking at ABS and probably slightly quieter engines and so on. But for now, this is the old school one. Now, where can I pull in and show you around this thing? Let's have a look here. Right, let's just get off the road. Now, one of the strange things, or one of the fun things about these, is it won't run on the side stand. The kill switch is in there, so you have to put it on the centre stand if you want to leave it running. So I'm going to turn her off and then put her on the side stand. There we go. Right, let's have a look around this splendid beast. Here she is. Now, what an amazing paint job. This, as I say, is the Royal Enfield Classic 500, and this in, as I say, the amazing chrome paint job. Apparently the most popular paint job is a sort of army green one, but I personally think this one looks fantastic. Alright, I think what I'll do is get my iPhone out so I can give you some details, so stand by and I'll do that. Okay, so let's get this started. There we go, onto the iPhone view. And let's show you around this bike. I mean, first of all, just look at it. It looks fantastic, doesn't it? This isn't retro, this is classic. In this particular paint scheme, I think she looks really amazing. This chrome look. Apparently the most popular look is the sort of green army-like one. But I think this looks just superb. Almost Bobber-esque, actually. Something about it. Really nice machine. In terms of specs, I mean, of course, nothing to write home about on the spec sheet, but just for completeness, I'll tell you, it's a single-cylinder, 4-stroke, twin-spark, air-cooled 499cc machine. It's got 27.2 brake horsepower, so not huge, but it doesn't feel particularly underpowered. 41.3 newton meters of torque, which is all nice and low down, so plenty of thump. When you change gear, as I mentioned, you get a real shove in the back. It's got right way up forks on the front, and it's got a disc brake on the front there, and hilariously, if I come around to the back end, It's got a drum brake on the back, which is adequate actually. It seems to work okay, but I say hilariously because I've never ridden a bike with a drum brake before. That's a first for me. Weight wise, it's 190 kilograms with 90% of fuel, so not heavy by any means. And the other little feature that I really like is the fact that it's got, not only has it got of course an electric start, but also that's a nod to modernism, but also it's still got the kickstart if you want to go properly old school. So there we are, that's the Classic 500 in terms of spec. Let's jump on her again and ride her some more. A beautiful looking machine. I love it. I have to say, build quality wise, she looks nicely finished, you know, nothing wrong with that. You know, I'm no engineer, but the welding looks good and it looks, paint finish is good. Love the engine, excellent. Right, on with the ride. Okay then, now comes the challenge. So I'd stand up because it definitely won't start with that. On we go. Excellent. No problem starting. Listen to that thing. Amazing. Right, in the clear. Camera's rolling. Got to be a little bit careful today because it was 2 degrees when I left home, so you know it's quite possible there's ice and stuff around in these shady bits, so just as well I'm going to be taking it easy. I don't know this part of the world very well at all, so I'll probably just do a few loops around here. I have to say, Gearbox takes some getting used to. So that's the first thing. I wouldn't say it's clunky by any means, but you have to be really positive on the gear shift to get it into gear. And then, as I mentioned, once you engage the gear, my goodness, she certainly shoves you forward. Let's go down this way again. Back brake, a little bit spongy but adequate. Again, you're not going to be doing any really fierce braking. Clutch is nice and light. Right, getting hang of that gearbox now. Nice and comfy seating position, nice and low seat as well, so excellent as maybe a first bike, or if you're vertically challenged a bit like me, then you can get your feet flat on the floor, no problem with the weight. Mirrors work, a little bit of vibration on this left hand one, they're fine, a little bit stalky looking, but they work absolutely fine. Let's come back down around this way again, so I know I'm not going to get lost. Suspension is quite basic, but perfectly adequate, quite softly set. It's adjustable for preload on the rear, I believe. But that's it. And of course, you don't get things like fancy riding modes or anything like that. No heated grips, just a basic bike. Vibrations through the bars, quite massive. But if you're only going on a short half-an-hour blast, not an issue. Just sounds the biz. I imagine pulling up at a pub for a low alcohol shandy, you would get an awful lot of conversations going about this bike and about whether it was an original or how long it took you to do it up. Now, not a motorway machine by any means. She will wind up to 70 plus miles an hour, but I'm informed that's little bit of a scary experience, so again, don't get one if you've got motorway cruising in mind. But if you've got in-town work in mind and you want to commute, then this could be a great option. Right, the clutch has got quite a wide bite point, just getting used to that now. There we go, listen to that. Fabulous old school motor, love it. Now this bike, the Classic, shares pretty much all of its mechanical parts with the Bullet, which is the other famous Royal Enfield bike. And of course the Bullet is famous for being the bike that holds the record for being in the longest continuous production of any motorcycle in the world. Of course it's changed over that time, but I believe the first Bullet was around in the late 1930s, and they're still making them in India now. Absolutely incredible record. These bikes, of course, very popular in India where they're made now, where Royal Enfield knocks out hundreds of thousands of these things each year. And obviously they're getting more popular in this country now as well, particularly with the retro scene becoming kind of the in thing. As I mentioned earlier, these aren't so much retro, more classic. This is the real deal. This is not a modern motorcycle manufacturer pretending to produce an old-fashioned bike. This is the bike as it's been for some years. Instruments, very basic, just a speedo, no rev counter, no fuel gauge, but there is a fuel light, so we're good there. Front brake, adequate again, not great by any stretch of the imagination, but not bad, not bad. And of course the real trump of these bikes is the fact that they are such great value for money. I've mentioned the various short givings, you know, the fact that it's very vibratey, the fact it doesn't go that fast, the specs aren't great, the brakes aren't brilliant. But that's not why you buy these, you buy it all for the character. And that character comes to you at very much a value for money price. You can get a brand new one of these for less than £4,000. Absolutely incredible. I don't know of any other bikes other than some Chinese imports that you can get at that sort of price. If you want to go to India and buy one, by the way, you can get one for half that. They're about £1,700, the equivalent of, I had a look on the web just to check. So get yourself down to Delhi and buy one. You can get two for the price of one in this country. However, £4,000, you can't deny that is excellent value for a motorcycle of this type. I mean, just to have one in your garage and look at it, it's worth £4,000. So I must just say thanks to Steve and the guys down at Royal Enfield in Watford. Amazing showroom they've got there, been open since August. If you're in the area at all, it's worth popping down, just having a look. Let's just see if I can turn around here. Don't want to get lost. Turning circle was great, very easy to manoeuvre, nice and light. So yeah, thanks to Steve and the guys down at Royal Enfield in Watford. Check them out if you're in the area or can go and have a look. Lovely showroom they've got there, and lots of bikes to have a look at and ride as well. And they've promised me a go on the newer Euro 4 bikes when they're available as well to demo, so looking forward to coming back and trying those. Cornering on this is fine. The suspension is quite soft, so actually, even though, you know, the suspension is rudimentary, pretty comfortable. I mean, the riding position is nice and upright. If you just want to putter along at 30 or 40 miles an hour around the lanes, perfect. Just a matter of getting used to it, like any bike really. If I had to spare £4,000, I'd be very tempted, I must say. I think this Chrome Classic is a winner. Just listen to that, amazing. Oh, what a glorious day to be out in the English countryside on a Royal Enfield motorcycle. I can think of a few things I'd rather be doing. What absolute fun, and that's what this bike is all about. Just enjoying the purity of motorcycling. I love it. Can't wait till the summer. This seems to be its sweet spot, about 50 miles an hour. I think I'd have to renew my wardrobe if I got one of these. This definitely requires something a bit more tweedy, I think. Barber jacket and pipe. The sort of bike you could take to the old distinguished gentleman's ride and be quite at home. Oh, tunnel. Oh yes, like it. And I made that pedestrian look. A bit of hand signalling there just to be sure. How retro's that? I mean classic. This pipe could really upset your neighbours, I love it. Maybe a little bit careful here, there's not a load of ice. It'll be nice to get past this learner, let's do that. Sorry, a bit of undertaking. Got to be done. On an Enfield, you know. Listen to that motor. Well, this is proper motorcycling, I must say. Well, I hope you're getting some of the sense of fun that you get on a bike like this. As I said at the start, I came in with kind of low expectations, but it really has exceeded my expectations. Yes, it takes a bit of getting used to the controls. Yes, of course it's not fast, but wow, what a lot of fun. Proper motorcycling, this. Listen to that. Tell you what, for the price of a season ticket into London on the train, you could get one of these. And how much more fun is this than going on the train? If you're currently using Southern Rail, take note. The answer to all your commuting needs. Oh, now I'm stuck behind another learner. Right, I better get this splendid puppy back to its owners, or they're going to think I've done a runner with it. So sadly, my time on the splendid Royal Enfield Classic 500 has come to an end. I think you will have noticed I've really enjoyed the ride on it. If you get the chance to have a go on one, or if you're in the market for one of these, do come down and to your local dealer. If you're in the southeast and this new one in Watford has opened up, check him out, speak to Steve. I'm sure he'll be only too happy to set you up with a go on this bike. I think you're going to like it. Okay, look forward to speaking to you next time. Until then, this has been the Missenden Flyer. Cheerio. What a hoot!